Hi, I'm Tiana.
And I'm Adrienne.
And this is
Tiana and Ace Taste. Welcome back.
Today we're going to be making cinnamon rolls. And this is a recipe that I have been making since I was probably 12.
And back then we would call them elephant ears.
Yeah. And I've basically converted the recipe from traditional, gluten and dairy and also regular sugar to now having gluten-free, it's dairy-free, and no refined sugars. So we're going to be showing you how to make those today. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to make the cinnamon rolls. So the first thing that you want to do is actually preheat your oven to 425 degrees before you start putting everything together. But in a large mixing bowl, you're just going to put in half a cup of Bob's Red Mill gluten-free all-purpose flour or something like the equivalent. So that's half a cup of that. And then half a cup of oat flour. And then to that, you're going to add a mixture of 2 tablespoons of coconut sugar and 1 tablespoon of maple sugar. And I like to mix the two together because the coconut sugar is more like a brown sugar, but the maple sugar is more like a traditional sugar, but I like the combination of the two together. Then you're also going to add half a teaspoon of baking powder, a quarter of a teaspoon of salt, and then you're just going to mix this together. Just mix together the dry ingredients, and for the wet ingredients you're going to add a quarter of a cup of non-dairy milk. This is almond milk, but you could use coconut milk or oat milk or cashew milk or whatever non-dairy milk you want. And then you're also going to add 3 tablespoons of melted butter. That being said, you actually want to melt a quarter of a cup of butter because you're going to use it in the batter, but you're also going to use it on top of the cinnamon rolls when you're rolling them up with the cinnamon and sugar. So for now, you're just gonna add 3 tablespoons of melted butter. I'll just keep the rest to the side for after. And then you just mix this together until a dough forms. And occasionally I do have to add a little bit of extra flour. Honestly, I think it depends on kind of the weather and the humidity going on, but this actually looks pretty good today. So once you have the dough formed, you actually want to sprinkle the surface of your countertop that you're working on with some flour. So I will do that now and then I'll bring you right back. So now I've just moved my dough from the container it was in just on top of the counter. And you just want to knead the dough a few times just to try to get everything incorporated. And this is why you want to have flour to your surface, just so that it's not sticky. And then once you've got everything well incorporated, you just want to kind of flatten it out into kind of, I'd say like a 6 by 9 inch area. It's a rough estimate right now. But you just want to kind of flatten out the dough so that you have a rectangle. So you want it to be more narrow this way and longer this way so that you can get more kind of roll going on because your cinnamon sugar is going to be all on top of this. I'm just going to grab one of my flour bowls again, and inside this you want to put 2 tablespoons of the maple sugar and then 1 tablespoon of the coconut sugar, as well as 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And then you can mix that together, and that's going to be obviously your cinnamon sugar mixture. And then the melted butter that we had left over, which I just use a vegan butter, you're just going to pour that on top of the dough and kind of spread that out. And then once you have that all on top of the dough. You're going to sprinkle the cinnamon sugar mixture on top of that. Just kind of spread that out as evenly as possible. And then we get to start rolling. So you just roll from the narrower side. And you want to kind of keep this as tight as possible and just roll it up. So then once you have a log formed, you're just going to cut that into 4 pieces. So let me just grab a knife. All right, so we're going to cut those into 4 even pieces as much as possible. And then I grabbed a cookie sheet as well, which I'm just going to spray with, this is an olive oil non-stick cooking spray. But these will stick if you don't have a spray, so you do want to use that. And then I just will place the rolls upright for now on the cookie sheet and kind of space them out because they do expand a little bit. And then basically what I do is I just flatten them out with my hand. So obviously make sure you have clean hands before you do this. And then these are ready for the oven. So I will stick them into the preheated oven at the 425 degrees and they go in for 10 minutes. And then I will show you what they look like when they are all done. Now for the tasting.
And they look delicious. Oh, still warm.
And gooey.
My favorite. Delicious. I don't want to miss any of it.
It's very good. Nice cinnamon.
I was just going to say that too. So good. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed that.
Make sure if you like the video that you like it and subscribe to us so that you don't miss more. We upload every Thursday. And then add a comment down below and let us know what you'd like to see in the future. And also make sure if you make these that you tag us on Instagram at Tiana and Ace Taste.
Now the action too, huh, sweetie?